Part 13. The breakup. You never thought it would come to this, but now you're standing on opposite sides of a choice. Love or self-preservation? Sarah and Jason had fought so hard to build something real, something pure. After weeks of pushing through doubt, uncertainty, and the weight of their professional lives, they finally shared a moment of complete intimacy. But now everything's in jeopardy. Jason's fears, the ones he's been battling in the background, have finally overwhelmed him. The pressures of their relationship, mixed with his fear of losing his job and his emotional stability, have pushed him to make a decision. And that decision? To walk away. Heartbroken and torn, Sarah is left with no choice but to agree. The breakup feels like an impossible ending to something that was supposed to be the beginning of something beautiful. Now they stand at a crossroads, two people who wanted everything, but now neither of them knows where to go from here. Jason didn't want this. Not really. But as the days passed and the stress piled on, his anxiety grew. His emotions, already fragile from the deep connection he'd shared with Sarah, couldn't handle the pressure anymore. The office gossip, Maya's warnings, and the constant fear of crossing professional boundaries all collided in a way that made him doubt everything. What if he loses his position? What if his career crashes down because of his personal choices? It was easier, he thought, to walk away now before things got even more complicated. Easier to protect himself from the emotional fallout before it got too deep. So, he told himself ending things with Sarah was for the best. The only way he could stay in control. He believed it was the only way to protect his heart, his stability, and his future. But what he didn't anticipate was the impact it would have on Sarah. She had given him her trust, her heart, and her vulnerability. And now, to have him pull away like this? It shattered her. The love they shared felt so real, so raw, that walking away seemed impossible, yet here they were, standing on opposite sides of a decision that neither of them truly wanted. Conversation happens on a quiet evening. The air feels heavy, like a storm is about to break. Sarah can feel it in the way Jason avoids her eyes, the way his posture is stiff and guarded. She's been sensing something's off for a while, but this is something she never saw coming. "Sarah," Jason starts, his voice low, almost hesitant, "I think we need to talk." She can see the pain in his eyes, and her heart aches just from the way he looks at her. "What's going on, Jason?" she asks, trying to keep the worry out of her voice, though she knows it's useless. He's been distant. He's been pulling away, and now she's afraid it's finally coming to a head. I don't think this is working," he says, and the words hit Sarah like a punch to the stomach. "I can't keep doing this. I'm too scared. Everything's moving too fast, and I don't know how to handle it anymore." Her heart races, confusion flooding her. "What do you mean?" "We've been fine. We've made it this far. What's changed?" Jason runs a hand through his hair, the tension in his body so palpable that Sarah can barely breathe. "I've been thinking about everything, the office, the gossip, the pressure. I can't keep juggling it. I can't risk my job, and I can't risk what we're building. It's too much. I've been holding it together, but I think it's time for me to step back. It's for the best, Sarah." The words sound so final, and yet they don't make sense. Sarah feels a lump form in her throat, her eyes stinging with unshed tears. "Jason, please. We can figure this out. We can slow down. We don't have to give up on this." But he shakes his head, his eyes filled with an intensity that frightens her. "I'm not sure we can," he says, almost whispering. "I've already made up my mind. I can't lose everything because of a relationship. I can't do it anymore." For a moment, Sarah stands there, paralyzed. She wants to argue, to beg him to reconsider, but the look on his face is one of finality. She's never seen him like this before, so torn, so sure that what he's doing is the right thing, even if it's breaking her heart in the process. The silence that follows is thick with pain. Sarah's mind races, trying to piece together what's happening. This isn't the man she's fallen for. This isn't the Jason who held her when she cried, who made her laugh when everything felt too heavy. No, this is someone different, someone afraid, someone who's chosen self-preservation over everything they had. She opens her mouth to speak, but the words catch in her throat. She knows deep down that pleading with him won't change his mind. There's nothing she can say to make him see things differently, not right now. The damage is done. With a soft, broken sigh, Sarah takes a step back, her heart sinking deeper than she ever thought possible. If this is what you need, then I'll go, she whispers, though every part of her wants to scream to tell him he's making a mistake. But she can't. She won't force him to stay if he's already decided. Jason's expression softens, but there's no warmth left in it. I'm sorry, Sarah. I really am. I need to do this for me. The weight of his words presses down on her chest. With one last look, she turns and walks out, feeling the distance between them grow with every step. It's the hardest thing she's ever done, but she knows there's nothing left to say. Following days feel like an eternity. Sarah's mind keeps replaying that conversation over and over again. The shock hasn't worn off, and she's left to grapple with the pieces of a relationship that once felt like everything. The heartache is deep, and the uncertainty of the future only makes it worse. She wonders if she should have tried harder to convince him to stay, but she knows deep down that this was Jason's choice. And as much as it hurts, she can't change it. For Jason, it's no easier. He's convinced himself that ending things was the only way to protect what he's worked so hard for, but the emptiness he feels in the wake of their breakup doesn't bring the peace he expected. He's left alone with his thoughts, regretting his decision but unable to undo the damage. The self-preservation he thought would ease his fears has only left him with a void he doesn't know how to fill. Neither of them knows what the future holds. For Sarah, there's the painful realization that maybe, just maybe, love isn't always enough to keep two people together. And for Jason, the fear of losing everything he holds dear remains, even if it means sacrificing the love he thought was worth everything. If you're curious about whether Jason and Sarah can ever find their way back to each other, don't miss the next chapter.